Hi, my name is Melanie Godfrey. Two of my classmates and I are in college for criminal justice. One of our projects are to interview a correctional officer who works at the Salem County Correctional Facility in Salem, New Jersey, and we're interviewing her about communication in her workplace. The goals of the facility for the incarcerated individuals are to protect society by providing a secure facility for offenders, provide a safe environment for offenders, ensure that basic physical and mental needs are appropriately addressed, protect the inherent constitutional rights of the offenders, provide trained and qualified staff that treat all offenders with dignity and respect, and also offer a variety of programs and services to facilitate the successful reintegration of offenders into the community upon their release. I asked our source, how many different types of communication do you have as a correctional officer? She responded 6. Verbal face-to-face communication, radios for brief notifications, telephones and internal email. They also have pen and paper methods for leaving notes. Then I asked, which is the easiest form of communication? She said, the telephone is the easiest when the person you want to talk to is working the same time you are. If you need to relay something to someone that is not working, email would be better. However, if it is an emergency, the radio is best. I also asked what communication method works best to de-escalate a hostile situation. And she replied, there are many different types of hostile situations. Sometimes you can de-escalate a situation by just remaining calm and asking what's wrong and actually listening. Using your IPC, interpersonal communication skills, is the best tool you can have. Other times, there is nothing you can say or do to calm down a hostile person. In that situation, she would use her radio to call a code, and the response team would come down and remove the inmate from her unit. The response team consists of 8 officers trained tactically to retain and remove a person. The best thing to remember is your training. An officer is not better than an inmate because they are an officer. However, an officer is trained to rise above and not sink to an inmate's level.
Hello, my name is Adon Carrasco, and these are the questions that I asked April Garrison for the purposes of this video. How hard was it to learn how to professionally communicate over a radio? To which she responded that they keep it pretty simple at her facility and they only have 10 codes that they use in certain situations. But she emphasized that it's important to remember to speak clearly over the radio. I also asked which form of communication they prefer, written or oral. She responded that both could be done better and that it is sometimes better to over-inform the guard that's relieving you than under-inform so that you can keep up with the new regulations and new rule changes at their facility. I also asked why are external communications so important to their day-to-day jobs, for example, citizens and the media. She responded with, sometimes they are limited with what they can say about their jobs, and that sometimes it takes a person that doesn't work there to see something that's wrong and speak up about it.
My name is Ryan Shell, and I'm going to talk about some of the questions that I had for Officer Garrison of the Salem County Correctional Facility. The first was, how important is it to your job to learn how inmates communicate? And she responded that they're a direct supervision facility, so it's very important since they're in with the inmates all day. She said some of the best tools that you can have are observing and listening, and eventually the inmates will drop their guard and you'll be able to pick up on their lingo and slang. My second question was, what happens if communication is inadequate? And she responded that you might not be aware of an inmate that has special needs and needs a little extra attention, or that you might place a protective custody inmate in with his enemy and he could be hurt. And my third question was, how important is internal communications in corrections between guard to guard? And she responded that it's very important at her facility, especially at her facility, because the day shifts don't see each other and the 2 night shifts don't see each other. And communication is important. That way they all are on the same page, following and enforcing the same rules. So if they're not, it gets confusing for the not just the guards but the inmates as well. So we've acted out some scenarios where communications was good and where communications was bad, and I hope you guys enjoy it and learn something.
Allegedly. Now, my name is Warden Carrasco. Welcome to Communications and Corrections. Today we're going to talk about why it's important to have good communications and corrections and what can happen when it's inadequate. For more, let's welcome in Melanie Godfrey. Melanie, do you think it's important to have good communication and corrections?
I don't see why I care about corrections. I do my job and I go home.
No, you don't think it matters then?
Nope, I'm just a security guard.
Well, what happens when you're trying to de-escalate a hostile situation with two inmates? Do you just go over there and handle it?
I look the other way.
Let's try a scene where you actually try to handle it. Ready?
Yep.
Go!
I don't like the rules. You guy is mine.
Hey! Back it up! Why can't you guys just get on your dog for God's sakes? Act like it! What?
Ah! Ooh, that looks like it hurt. Ah! Okay, I've had enough. Melanie, come over here. Oh, hey, look what happened to your leg and your arm. Oh, for someone who doesn't care, it really doesn't show. Did you learn anything at least?
Definitely should not have ran in and antagonized the inmate.
What else?
Well, I figure next time I'll use my interpersonal communication skills to find out what the problem is and de-escalate the situation properly.
Do you think that'll work for you next time?
I'm hoping so.
Well, you know what? I have just that opportunity for you. Let's find out. You need to learn the rules of this place.
You need to learn who's the boss.
Why, you cheeky dickwad!
You're not my friend anymore.
Stop.
What?
What's going on? Calm down.
He needs to learn the rules. He's gonna get me in trouble.
He made burritos margaritos last night. Wouldn't give me it. He's mean. He calls me
mean.
names.
No, he's mean.
Let's just calm down and talk about this. You want to move to a different cell? You guys have been friends for years. Come on, let's just get along. Talk
She's
it out.
right. It's true. I'm sorry.
I missed you.
Oh
my God, you're right.
But let's not forget that not all occasions of communications and corrections has to do with guard to inmate. A lot of times it has to do with guard to guard. For more on this, let's invite in another one of my guards, Ryan Shell.
Warden?
Hey Ryan, how are you?
Not bad.
All right, well let's get down to it. Do you think that communications between guards and guards is important in corrections?
Yeah, it's good to know when my shift ends and when the next party is.
That is important to know. But don't you think it's important since you do a lot of work details?
You know, they know what they're doing.
Well, let's see how your attitude does in the field.
This guard duty shit sucks.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and then I watched the Packers the other day. They almost lost 24-0 in the first quarter. What do you want?
May I run across the yard and grab a shovel?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. But I don't know, a couple more hours and we'll be out of here.
Hey!
I'm tired.
Hey!
What?
Hey, no!
I got him! I got him! Don't worry about it, I got him!
He was getting a shovel.
What? No, he was escaping!
No, I wasn't!
Why didn't you say something? Did that just happen? Did that really just happen? Ryan!
Yes, Warden?
Did that just happen?
It happened.
What happened to him?
He did.
No. Well, did you learn anything from this?
Well, in hindsight, I should have got on the radio and informed the tower that the inmate was leaving the field. That way he wouldn't have been shot.
Do you think that form of communication will be better next time?
I think I've learned my lesson.
Well, let's find out.
Alright, so how many inmates we got out in the yard right now?
I'd say about 83.
83. Jesus.
Yeah,
Way too many for just us two.
yeah. Well, at least I
What do
called.
you need?
Sir, may I run across the yard and grab a shovel, please?
Yeah, the inmate's gonna run across the yard, go get a shovel.
Roger that.
Alright, go ahead. Anyway, the Packers are playing this Sunday. Gonna have to have a party. Lots of beer.
That was completely uneventful. But that's what we're looking for here in corrections. Ryan, get over here.
Yes, Warden.
Nice job this time.
Well, thank you. I try my best.
So what did you do differently?
Well, this time I used proper communications and radioed the tower when the inmate was leaving the field, so he didn't get shot. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
But other than the horrendous dancing going on in the tower, the day was pretty much uneventful.
I'll look into that.
Yeah, I think he should get fired. I don't think he's all there.
I said I'll look into it.
Okay.
Anyways, you know, you're not the only person who struggled with bad communication.
That's not true.
Yeah, even yours truly.
No way.
Yeah, I once had a situation in front of the cameras during a press conference where I said something I probably shouldn't have.
I don't believe it.
I guess I'll just have to show you.
Now we're going to hear from Warden Carrasco about the troubling incidents at this facility. Warden?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm ready to take your questions.
Warden!
Yes, sir. You, sir.
How do you respond to the reports that you had knowledge of the abuse going on in your facility that led to the death of 6 inmates?
Well, I would have to say, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Also, stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Are we live?
Yes.
You heard it right here on CNN, folks. Warden Carrasco says it's okay to torture and kill his inmates. But his message of stay in school and don't do drugs is truly powerful.
Yeah,
A lot of foot and mouth going on
it
there.
wasn't good.
No. Well, hopefully you learned something from this situation.
You know, I did learn something. I did.
What's that?
Well, first I learned the media can't take a joke.
Oh, no, not especially CNN.
No. And then, you know, but more to the point, I learned that sometimes when speaking to the media as an official, it's better when you don't know the answer to give a non-answer. That is, not really answering the question, but not necessarily veering off. So I tried it again, and I feel like I nailed it the second time, but you let me know.
Now we're going to hear from Warden Carrasco about the troubling incident in this facility. Warden?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm now ready to take your questions.
Warden!
Yes, sir. You, sir.
How do you respond to the reports that you had knowledge of the abuse going on in your facility that led to the death of 6 inmates?
The facts of this case are not all in yet, so I would not feel comfortable giving an answer to that question until I've had a full and thorough investigation by an outside source. Yeah, second time's the charm, I always say.
Well, it seems like communications is important in every aspect of corrections.
That's right, from the top to the bottom. And not just in corrections, but in all workplaces. Communications is very important.
Well, hopefully everybody's learned something from this video then.
That's right.
Well, I need to run over there and grab a shovel. Alright, go ahead. Anyway, the Packers almost lost the other day. Bullshit.
Hey! He's escaping!
Hey, no! Alright, that was overkill. Just
Don't worry, I got him!
What are you doing?
I got him! He was escaping!
He wasn't escaping!
I don't like rules! You're gonna learn the rules! You're gonna learn the facts!
What? What's going on?
He's new, so he has to do what I say.
And your problem?
He's Mexican. He smells like tacos.
Well, he's supposed to be my bitch.
Better, I think.
Yeah, I thought the second time was a lot better.
Yeah, very professional.
Thank you. I thought I looked good in that hat.
Yeah, the hat. Really. Start over.
Completely uneventful. But that's exactly what we're looking here in corrections. That was incredibly uneventful. Did that just happen? Did that just happen?
He did.
Yeah, I'd say so. Did you learn? You need to learn the rules of this place.
Screw you and screw your rules,
No,
man.
you need to learn them.
You're not my friend anymore.
Calm down. Stand over there. What's going on? What's going on?
He's not following the rules.
He made burritos and margaritas last night, wouldn't share it.
Shut
Burritos
up!
and margaritas? Are you kidding
How am
me?
I supposed to be your friend
You
if you
want
don't
attention?
share any margaritas?
I didn't share the margaritas
All right,
because
all right.
you went to that other guy's cell last night.
He's nicer than you.
ain't working. Oh, God, we have one seat away.
Two.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it went a lot better that time.
You looked real professional.
Thank you. I thought I looked pretty good in that. Goddamn dog.